Ooh, it's Wednesday. We made it to Hump Day. Hey, happy Hump Day. Who the hell named that? Who named it Hump Day? Come on now. That's just wrong. Good morning. It's good to be back after a Tuesday off. A lot of stuff's going on out there. It's kind of ridiculous. Got war in Iran. Got Clinton, the Clintons answering questions under oath. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, it's not all beautiful, but so we're halfway through the week. I'll start off saying, hey, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications and all that hubbub. Do all the things. We're fighting the algorithm, all that hubbub and stuff. Let's get kind of right into it. So, Iran. What are we looking at in Iran? I've been giving it some thought. Sat down last night and wrote up some thoughts. Yeah, I have thoughts. All right, I have thoughts. I don't have some fancy degree on the wall, but I have thoughts. I do, I swear.
Wrong.
Are we looking at like a prolonged ground war? What do you think? We could have dozens or hundreds or thousands of flag draped coffins being sent home. What do you think is going to happen? Rubio said a couple years back what his thoughts on the matter were. back when he was still a
America
senator.
is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force.
There we
Now
go.
is the
There we go. We'll fix that. Fix that. My producer's slacking this morning. That's all right.
Mr. President, I'll be brief. I know the senator from Tennessee would like to close on this matter. I think everything that needs to be said about the details of this deal have already been said. I do want to be recorded for history's purposes.
Speaking on the Iran
before I know
deal,
what is going to happen in regards to this if it goes through. Iran will immediately use the money that it's receiving in sanctions relief to begin to build up its conventional capabilities. It will establish the most dominant military power in the region outside of the United States, and it will raise the price of us operating in the region. They're going to build anti-access capabilities, rockets capable of destroying our aircraft carriers and ships, continue to build these swift boats that are able to come on us, these fast boats that are able to swarm our naval assets. And they'll make it harder and harder for U.S. troops to be in the region. They'll also work with other terrorist groups in the region to target American servicemen and women. And they may or may not deny that they're involved, but they will target us and raise the price of our presence in the Middle East until they hope to completely pull us out of that region. They'll also continue to build long-range missiles, missiles capable of reaching the United States. Those are not affected by this deal, and they'll continue to build them as they've been doing. And then at some point in the near future, when the time is right, they will build a nuclear weapon. And they will do so because at that point they will know that they have become immune, that we will no longer be able to strike their nuclear program because the price of doing so will be too high. This is not just the work of imagination. It exists in the world today. It's called North Korea, where a lunatic possesses dozens of nuclear weapons and a long-range rocket that can already reach the United States. And we cannot do anything about it. An attack on North Korea today would result in an attack on Tokyo, or Seoul, or Guam, or Hawaii, or California. And so the world must now live with a lunatic in possession of nuclear weapons. And this is the goal Iran has as well, to reach a point where they become immune to any sort of credible military threat because the price of a military strike would be too high. And then they become an established nuclear weapons power. And never in the history of the world has such a regime ever possessed weapons so capable of destruction. Iran is led by a supreme leader who is a radical Shia cleric with an apocalyptic vision of the future. He is not a traditional...
It's almost as if the writing was on the wall.
...geopolitical actor who makes decisions on the basis of borders or simply history or because of ambitions. He has an religious apocalyptic vision of the future, one that calls for triggering a conflict between the non-Muslim...
The 12th Imam, if you're not familiar.
...world and the Muslim world, one that he feels especially obligated to trigger. And he's going to possess nuclear weapons. This is the world that we are on the verge of leaving our children to inherit. And perhaps we ourselves will have to share in it. And so I want to be recorded for history's purposes, if nothing else, to say that those of us who opposed this deal understood where it would lead. And we are making a terrible mistake. And I fear that a passage of this deal will make it even harder for us to prevent it. And I hope...
Young Americans are being led to fight a war for old men. I mean, that could be said for any war. That could be said for any war out there. Every war, any war, all the wars. You could say that for all the wars. They don't send old men out. But yeah, I get you. It's a tricky one. This is a tricky one. I've been thinking about it a lot. I've been on both sides of this. You know, I could see I could see that reasoning. You know, you have to be at least be honest about yourself. With yourself. So what do we want? What does Trump want? You know, we asked that question the other day, and then all the other pundits came out and asked that question the other day. Other pundits, like I'm some pundit. Trump wants regime change, which I hate the sound of that. Right? Don't we all hate the sound? Any of us who have any knowledge of history don't like the sound of that. Regime change in the Middle East is always a failure because we don't understand their culture. We don't understand them. That's fine. So I mean, like the getting in there, getting it done and getting out, maybe. So I'm going to tell you what I think the best case scenario is. The worst case scenario, what I think is going to happen. So he wants regime change. He wants to neutralize the nuclear threat and stop all the proxy attacks without getting bogged down in some forever war. Okay. Proxies are like Hezbollah, Hamas, uh, the Houthis. Those are all terrorist groups that are funded by Iran. Reports out there suggest that the attacks are focused on decapitating leadership, degrading the nukes, and the missile. They're basically anything they can fire at us, right? That's pretty much where we're at. You can get all the technical names of all the different. That's what it is. They want to go in and destroy all the missiles that they can shoot at us, destroy the Navy, and be able to enable uprisings within the country, like the recent celebrations over Khamenei's death in Tehran. I believe they got attacked for doing that. CENTCOM came out yesterday and gave a pretty darn detailed update on the military side of things. I think we should take a look at. So let's give that a second here.
I'm Admiral Brad Cooper, the commander of United States Central Command. In this capacity, I lead U.S. military forces in the Middle East. I'm here to provide you an update on Operation Epic Fury, now in our 4th day of execution. First, I'd like to express my deepest condolences to the families and teammates of the extraordinary Americans who've been killed in action. And I'd also like to extend our prayers for a speedy recovery to the wounded. Yesterday, you heard from Secretary Hegseth and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs. Today, I'd like to give you an operational update on where we are and provide you with some key facts. By order of the President of the United States and the Secretary of War, our military in the Middle East is undertaking an unprecedented operation to eliminate Iran's ability to threaten Americans, as they've been doing for nearly half a century. Having spent more than 36 years in the military, I could not be prouder of America's sons and daughters in uniform who are answering the call. More than 50,000 troops, 200 fighters, 2 aircraft carriers, and bombers from the United States are participating in this operation, and more capability is on the way. These forces bring a massive amount of firepower, representing the largest buildup by the U.S. in the Middle East in a generation. In the opening hours of Operation Epic Fury, U.S. Central Command forces, together with Israel, delivered overwhelming and unprecedented strikes into Iran. Many of you may remember the shock and awe strikes of 2003. The first 24 hours of this operation were nearly double the scale, and we continue with 24/7 strikes into Iran from seabed to space and cyberspace. Now, we're less than 100 hours into this operation, and we've already struck nearly 2,000 targets with more than 2,000 munitions. We have severely degraded Iran's air defenses and destroyed hundreds of Iran's ballistic missiles, launchers, and drones. And in simple terms, we're focused on shooting all the things that can shoot at us. Our B-2 bombers and B-1 bombers have executed uncontested surgical strikes against multiple missile facilities deep inside Iran. And then just last night, a B-52 bomber force struck ballistic missile and command and control posts. We are also sinking the Iranian Navy, the entire Navy. Thus far, we've destroyed 17 Iranian ships, including the most operational Iranian submarine that now has a hole in its side. For decades, the Iranian regime has harassed international shipping. Today, there's not a single Iranian ship underway in the Arabian Gulf, Strait of Hormuz, or Gulf of Oman, and we will not stop. We will continue to conduct dynamic targeting operations. We're hunting Iran's last remaining mobile ballistic missile launchers to eliminate what I would characterize as their lingering launch capability. Now, in retaliation, the Iranian regime has launched over 500 ballistic missiles and over 2,000 drones. To be clear, Iran is indiscriminately targeting civilians as they launch these missiles and drones. You've seen it on TV. The evidence is crystal clear and overwhelming. Having said this, we are seeing Iran's ability to hit us and our partners is declining, while our combat power, on the other hand, is building. And my overall operational assessment is that we are ahead of our game plan. Along the way, every single branch of our military is achieving unprecedented success. I'll talk about just a few of them. Our naval forces have deployed multiple waves of cruise missiles, obliterating Iranian command and control and air defense capabilities. From 2 aircraft carrier strike groups, we're squeezing Iran from the sea and have them backed into their own ports. U.S. air forces are doing what they do best, executing a high volume of airstrikes right into Iran. Operationally, the two most powerful air forces in the world, the US and Israel, are dominating the skies of the world's largest state sponsor of terror. Our U.S. Army soldiers are defending ourselves and our partners, and in a historic first, the U.S. Army fired long-range precision strike missiles called PRISMs in combat, providing an unrivaled deep strike capability. Also for the first time, U.S. Central Command's drone task force called Task Force Scorpion Strike launched countless one-way
What a
attack
cool
drones,
name.
achieving massive effects. I'd like to point out these drones were originally an Iranian design. We took them back to America, made them better, and fired them right back at Iran. I just could not be prouder of our men and women in uniform, leveraging innovation to create dilemmas for the enemy. There is no adversary too determined, no mission too difficult for the great soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Guardians, and Coast Guardsmen that make up the most powerful military the world has ever seen. Our military objectives are crystal clear, and our people are executing an immensely complex and historic mission with relentless lethality, conviction, and professionalism. And we've just begun. But I have the utmost confidence that we, alongside our partners, will absolutely achieve our military objectives. To all our warriors, Godspeed. Thanks so much.
That was a good update. I appreciate that. It was nice to see. I got some comments here I wanted to talk about. I love how everyone is now a war expert. With all our technology, our leaders know what they're doing. Leave war to the experts. Armchair warriors, anti-Americans. Yeah, that's the thing. We forget we have to be able to trust the leadership. It might be a little scary, you know. Some of us are small government, anti-government, whatever, you know. It's tricky. I'm gonna give you my opinions here in a minute, and I think I might be pretty spot on what's going on, but it changes so fast you can't even really keep track. Like there's other nations getting involved, and there's other stuff going on. Um, is anyone uh, is anyone seeing my comments about central banking? I crack me up. You all notice they want regime change for the countries that aren't a part of the Rothschilds banking system. Y'all seeing a trend? Is this the new narrative? Is this the new one? Just the new narrative for everybody. Dying for Epstein. Ooh. I just don't even know what to say to people who think that this whole thing is just to cover up the Epstein files. I don't even know what to say at that point to somebody who really believes that, to be honest with you. I feel like he is doing crazy stuff to distract people from the Epstein files as well as his declining health. Okay, I kind of just address that. Why Trump won't even mention those dead soldiers? He did. What are you talking about? He did that on numerous occasions. Oh, that's exact. Oh, see, that person right there gets their news from CNN or someplace like that that probably just didn't air any of his comments about those. So then they only have that limited. That's just amazing. That's exactly what happened. I bet you. I bet you that's what happened. So there's a lot of different outcomes of this. I don't even like to call it a war because we didn't actually declare war. You know, there's a lot of different outcomes that we could have here. Fix this stupid chair. I think this is the most probable outcome. I think this is pretty much what I think is going to happen. I think there's going to be a short air campaign that topples the regime. That'll last about 4 weeks. That's what Trump was saying. It's about 4 weeks. But then he also came out and said that we're ahead of schedule because of those meetings that they had. Oh, I hope you heard the stories about those meetings. So the first strike that we did, I believe it was the first strike that they came, at least in the first barrage of strikes, we hit the supreme leader and all his peeps. There was like 40 that got killed in this first strike. And then a couple days later, these guys, I think there's 8 of these clerics or mullahs that get together and they vote for the next leader, supreme leader. So they were getting together and they were voting on the next supreme leader. And the reports were that as they were counting the votes, I don't know how they would be able to, but as they were counting the votes, Israel flew in and dropped like 200 bombs on the building and just completely leveled it and took all those guys out. So now no one really knows what's going on. I guess they just put Khamenei's son in charge. So I don't know how I'd feel if I was an Iranian. They were, hey, we want you to take the leadership. I'd be like, yeah, I'm not so sure that that's a good idea. I think I might pass on that one. Might be a little bit hazardous, that job there. So he wants to topple the regime, and he's gonna, if that's going to lead to of course a transitional government, which of course you have to have, right? Which is what scares me quite a bit. That's what scares me, is the nation building, okay? But I think that Trump has learned the lessons. Is as negative as he was about previous wars. I think he knows better than to get involved in a ground war, and that's going to drag on for years, possibly. I think that government will be trying to come into play, and I think Iran will fracture within. I think fighting will break out between different kinds of factions, or whatever you want to call it, different factions. I think the U.S. will back Western, pro-Western factions during that. But I don't think there's going to be any like massive ground troops, invasion. A lot of troops on the ground. I don't think that's going to happen. I think what it'll be is like more special ops type stuff. We'll have people on the ground, but it'll be more special ops, CIA, Mossad, Israel, etc. on the ground doing that. But I don't want to be involved in most of that. Like I just don't. And then you run into that problem where it's like, oh, you can't come in, just bomb everything, change everything, and then just leave. So it's tricky, right? I mean, you don't want to do that because that could be screwed up. The Iranian people are not armed. Do we now arm them? I imagine that we will. But no nation building. I don't think he'll do that. I think then Trump will claim victory, pull the troops back outside of those couple teams, and be able to tout that he ended the Ayatollah's reign after 47 years without endless commitment. That's the important part. Essentially, that's his whole shock or peace through strength vibe. That's what I think is going to happen. There's a couple other possibilities. But hey, hang on a second now. Take a second later on and go to shop.magamericans.com and take a look at some of the merch that we got there. Some of it's designed by our little peoples. I don't mean like small people. I mean our children's. Like the Just Some Guy collection. He'll be excited I said that. So best case and worst case outcomes. Let's go with the best case first. Let's do that. Our air forces crush Iran's defenses quickly. Internal protests swell to full revolution with defections from the IRGC and the military. That's the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, which is labeled a terrorist organization by our government, but it's a military organization that they use to protect the political system in Iran, in the Islamic Republic of Iran. A moderate interim government will emerge. Proxy groups like Hezbollah and the Houthis will lose funding, and that will help stabilize the Middle East, because you won't have just people being able to attack and no one being able to be blamed. Oil will flow uninterrupted. Prices will stabilize. Trump will broker a historic peace, boosting U.S. energy independence and alliances. Casualties will stay low. Hopefully, I don't know what low is. I hate to say that because like, oh, that's low, but low. And the war will end in weeks, not months. Global markets will rebound, and Iran will become a partner, not a foe. That's the best case scenario. The worst case scenario. For those of you anxiety-ridden people, this may be a good time to drop off. Worst case scenario. Iran escalates using chemical weapons or completely closes the Straits of Hormuz, but I don't think that's going to be a possibility anymore. Spiking oil to $200 a barrel and triggering a global recession. Russia and China will arm Iran, turning it into a proxy war. Cyber attacks will hit the U.S. grids and terrorist retaliation will surge worldwide. We will then have to put a ground invasion on the boots on the ground with, who knows, based on previous examples, maybe 100,000 troops. It'll turn into another Iraq essentially. Nuclear sites will get hit, causing radiation leaks and environmental disasters. Death toll will be in the tens of thousands. Refugee crisis is overwhelming Europe, as if they're not already overwhelmed. Trump will face impeachment, and the conflict will drag on for years, fracturing NATO and empowering extremists. Either way, it's high stakes. You got to pray for the best, but prepare for the worst. This could turn into something that just goes, this could be super good in the end or horrible. This could be both. It could be either one at this point. Anyone out there who's telling you it's definitely this or it's definitely that has no idea what they're talking about. There are so many variables floating in the air right now that there's no way for anyone to really say. Like I'm giving you my best guess here, but I'm not 100% because, like I said, things can change. And guess what? I'm not privy to all the intelligence information, so I'm just going off of instinct, experience, and whatever facts I can pull together. And who knows if those are true? Because we find out what they want us to find out. I know that we need to keep an eye out for domestic problems. I've been saying that for years. We have terrorist cells within our own country that are kind of just waiting to be activated. That time may be coming. Yeah, that shooting in Austin, Texas, where a gunman killed 3 and injured 14 at Buford's backyard beer garden. The suspect, the suspect, Alphabet, that's what they used to do in basic training. They couldn't pronounce your name, they just call you Alphabet. Wore an Iranian flag shirt and property of Allah sweatshirt. FBI is investigating as a potential terrorist linked to the Khomeini assassination. In Cincinnati, Ohio, there was 9 injured at a Riverfront Live venue. No clear motive yet, but officials are checking for Iranian ties amid a spree of attacks. So who knows? There was a stabbing on Interstate 495 in Washington, D.C., where a man apparently stopped his car in the middle of the highway and got up and started stabbing people. The FBI and DHS have both said that they are on alert for domestic threats and they're warning of inspired attacks like mass shootings. Counterterrorism experts say Iran's calls for vengeance could motivate lone wolves. So we need to stay vigilant, pay attention. You know, don't feel like you're in this little bubble and you can't be touched by some kind of tragedy. You never know what's going to happen, right? So anyway, as far as Iran goes, I don't know. I gave you my best opinion. We'll see. Tomorrow it might change because things keep changing. It's a volatile situation. That's for sure. We'll get there. As soon as Trump kicks it, the better the world will be. I bet you thought that Biden was cognitively there as well. Most of our oil comes from the USA and Canada. Only 20% of our oil comes from the Middle East. The prices are going up. It's the companies using this to gouge customers. You know, I seen a one more thing on that as far as the Iranian thing. I saw where'd it go? Come on now. I know it's in there. Oh, there we go. Went right past it. Senator Fetterman came out and spoke about this yesterday. It made me think after watching it, we need more dumb people in Congress. And hang on a second. Let me explain. When I say dumb people in Congress, I don't necessarily mean dumb people. I mean not PhD level, master's degree lawyers and all that other. How about we just need regular? I've said this for forever. We need regular people in government. That's what the original design was supposed to be. Congress people were supposed to be able to come to DC. They would be there for a few months. They would write the laws. They would take care of business, and then they would go home and do something that was just totally amazing. They would live under the laws that they created. Isn't that a remarkable idea? Wow. If only they did that now. If only they did it now. So here's Fetterman. He comes out, he speaks truth. This is common sense truth, like without the politics. I can't say enough good things about Fetterman, and I don't agree with him on a lot of things. And I'm a local to where he's one of my representatives or senators, and I've seen what he did before when he was a mayor in a small town called Braddock, and when he was lieutenant governor in Pennsylvania. And I never in a million years, that's why politics can be so interesting. I would never have in a million years ever thought I would support this guy. But the thing is, he is probably the first Democrat that I would ever vote for, that I would ever consider voting for over a Republican, depending on the Republicans' policies and stuff. Because he's a statesman, which is crazy. He's a statesman. This is just great.
We go to the mics. Did the administration detail what the end game is here about when this war may actually end and how they plan to achieve the objective?
I'm saying it's like, I think we can all agree. I mean, find a senator in here that says we should never allow Iran to acquire a nuclear bomb. Have you know anyone that says they're okay with them having a nuclear weapon? I haven't met any of them. So for me, this entire thing was that end game is make sure that's destroyed, I'm sure. That's part of it, make sure there's no way they could ever acquire a nuclear bomb. And it seems that. And then also the other missile technologies for that. So everything that I've heard there, to me, it just essentially, there's no new shocking kinds of news or any of it.
But wasn't the nuclear program set back in June when the attacks initially happened? Why did this additional attack need to happen?
Well, that's part of the brief.
What did they tell you?
Senator, are you comfortable with the fact that Congress was left out of the decision-making process?
Well, what does the War Powers Resolution 73 say? It says that the president has to provide 48 hours of notification, and he's done that. And then they have up to 60 days, perhaps, with this on the ground.
People need to pay attention to that. People think this is an illegal action by Trump. That's one of the narratives that the left is pushing, that this is an illegal action by Trump and yada yada yada. He is 100% within his rights. He is 100% within the office's abilities. It's totally legal. Nothing is wrong
of notification, and he's done that. And then they have up to 60 days, perhaps a 30 days extension. And there's no boots on the ground, and it's been into 100 hours so far. So where has anything been broken, or they haven't made every standard?
How do you describe the fact that how do you describe the fact that you're the only Senate Democrat, though, with that position?
Because I'm the Democrat. I'm aware that it's pretty toxic for a Democrat to say I happen to agree with the president on really anything at this point. But again, find someone that opposes this, saying they've all said we can never allow Iran to acquire a nuclear bomb. Then what's your and that seems like that's happening. Why can't you just acknowledge that's a good thing? Why not? No. Like, why can't you just say that? You know, it's like, this is 47 years. It's like sanctions and treaties and all kinds of other negotiations and everything. Nothing's worked, and that's the case. So why can't we all just say the world is safer and it's more just now because of that? What this happens, you don't have to agree on everything, but it's like, yes, I'm the only Democrat because I'm not afraid of my base to just say, you know what, this was overall a good thing. You don't have to agree on everything. So I'm going to be honest. So, like, why can't you just acknowledge that one of the most evil people on the face of the earth was erased? That's a good thing.
Can't you do both? Can't you do both? And I think there are questions about the scope of the operation moving forward, how long it will last. 6 service members have already been
Well, I mean, no one knows exactly how long it's going to last overall. I mean, that's, who knows? But really, that's also what's really also undeniable is that Iran has seriously been degraded. You know, if they have a big shot to shoot, they would have done it by now, and they haven't. And now, really, all of this other kinds of small things, they're just cheap drones being fired off at random nations there. If anything, they continue to isolate themselves. If anything, you could see like a good opportunity to now move them more towards Abraham Accords. There are, these small things, but where is all of things beyond those small kinds of things? Overall, Iran has been effectively degraded in a way where they really have limited, if any, capabilities at this point.
So why should Congress assert its constitutional role and actually vote to declare war the way it did?
Most likely, they're going to end up voting tomorrow or today, and nothing's going to happen. They're not going to get the votes that they want to stop it.
With Iraq and
the last war we've actually declared was World War II.
No, Iraq and Afghanistan. There were
Afghanistan. Okay, so for me right now, what is it now? The War Powers Resolution, 60 days, and we're 100 hours into this. Now,
right?
What's at this point? And also, I want to say on this, it's like, we can't keep our government open.
Right.
We shut it down for 45 days, and now the entire DH thing is shut down. We can't even maintain our core responsibilities to keep our government open. So right now.
Sarah, have you changed your position on war powers in terms of a ground invasion into Iran?
What? No, I'm saying it's like this is
what?
The U.S. have done more to protect Americans who are now stranded abroad. Israel received a warning on Friday before this attack for an authorized departure there, but there are many Americans in other countries now without.
Anything else?
Senator, do Americans have anything to be concerned about with regard to retaliation here domestically? Any cells that we need to worry about? Anything?
I don't have any specific kinds of intelligence on that, of course, but our DHS system is shut down, so that's probably not great timing for that. And again, I'm the only Democrat that votes that's wrong to do that. Yeah, we all want to make some changes on ICE, but we all know that won't have any impact what they've done, and now it's shut down.
Do you support regime change inside Iran?
What?
Do you support the regime change inside Iran by President Trump?
Well, I thought that's part of, a regime change. It's like the top 55 of them were killed, and I think they just blew up 80 of the randoms mullahs too. Which, that was pretty great, actually. So, all right.
Senator, administration officials can.
How happy he is. Look how happy Lindsey Graham is. That warmongering. Ugh, I can't stand that guy. On a good note, last day of this crappy job of mine, start a new one on the 9th. Congratulations. That's great. That's great. It's no good when you don't like your job. I know about that. Coincidence that they went after the Venezuelan oil before the Strait of Hormuz is shut down. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny because I talked about that. I don't know if it was Monday or over the weekend. I think it was Monday. I talked about that. I said, what if he's a really, maybe you should have been here for my almost anti-Trump show. I was like, what if he is a despot? What if he's got, he's on the playing 4D chess, and he did the Venezuelan attack to make sure he can maybe hopefully stabilize America's oil prices before he went into the Middle East. I don't know. If he did, maybe that seems like forward thinking. We do. Government is filled with dumb people. Yeah. It is. Correction. Fair point. Fair point. Government is full of dumb people, but what I mean is we need more dumb, not corrupt people. That, I guess, that would be regular people. Just regular people that go in there for a term, maybe 2, and then there's a term limit, and they go home, and that's the end. Oh, I take issue with this. U.S. construction people are pure a-holes? That's not very nice. It's not very nice at all. I'm a conservative too. That's why they don't understand. That's what they don't understand. I just don't worship a horrible, stoled out president. It sounds like an establishment Republican to me. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, to be clearly not from Los Angeles. Let's see. All right. So, and then some other news, which was good news that I was enjoying earlier today, was Jasmine Crockett and the election results in Texas. Dan Crenshaw got beat. Jasmine Crockett got beat. She effectively apparently gave up her seat. I don't know if she wasn't running for other seat in the time. Now, there was a story real quick of, I'm not going to get into the details. I'm going to play this real quick, and then we're going to get to some other news. Oh, we'll hit this one up later. We'll get to Jasmine first. I couldn't help but laugh. I saw this. I couldn't help it. So there's that. That's good. But Jasmine Crockett lost her seat. Here she is complaining. Let's see her complain a little bit. It's good to see people complain like that. So this is one of the dumb people in Congress. Like, she might be one of the dumbest people. She's educated, but doesn't make you smart.
Fred has already stated, we encourage each and every one of you to remain resilient. We cannot allow this type of behavior to be rewarded, because so long as they know that they can win, even if it means cheating, then they will continue to do it. So I am asking you, I am begging you to make sure that you go ahead and figure out where it is that you are supposed to vote. Stand in line, wait in line. Fred has already stated. So we encourage each and every one of you.
It's election fraud. Was there election fraud? Is that why she lost? Election fraud? Are you allowed to say that? I don't think you're allowed to say that. That's a shame. That's a real shame. I'm not sure you're like, can you do that? Can you do the election? That guy. There was this that I thought was just outstanding. In Philadelphia, a Middle Eastern man confronted protesters backing Iran's regime, calling them fake activists. They're out here supporting a regime, not the Iranian people. These are American kids. I mean, he's got a point.
You're all preventing me from moving where I want to go, and I'm going to go. Why don't you leave America? Why don't you leave? You hate this imperialist country. Why don't you leave? When Iranian women were raped and murdered by their government, none of you said shit. You're fake activists. Why don't you speak about the 50,000 Iranians who were killed? And I want to call out the fact that you pretend, oh, don't touch me. Meanwhile, you're all preventing me from moving where I want to go, and I'm going to go. That's okay. You can't months imprison me. You fake terrorist cosplaying children. You are spoiled Americans on the side of a terrorist regime because you're afraid and hateful of a country that's the size of New Jersey. I'm not scared. I'm not scared of you cosplaying white people. I'm afraid of the smell of you because none of you have showered.
Okay, so you were just in the crowd basically calling them spoiled Americans. Why?
These are a bunch of truthfully spoiled Americans who live in one of the most materialistically successful countries in the world, and they're out here supporting a regime, not the Iranian people, a regime that weaponizes rape and murder against civilians in another country. There's no connection to any of these people. None of them are Iranian. None of them, as far as I can see, are Palestinian. These are American kids who woke up one day, maybe learned a little bit of questionable history on TikTok, and now they chose this as something to build a fake identity around because they feel guilty that they're bored. I don't know.
Are you from the Middle East?
I am. I grew up in America, but my family is Israeli of Lebanese Jewish background. My family never left the Middle East. We are Jews from Lebanon, which is obviously right next to Israel.
That's some truth right there. Speaking some truth. Where are we at here? Oh, I can build you a tiny house. I can do that. I know the founders also told us when America collapses, it'll be because of our own government, not a foreign entity. Yeah, I know Lincoln said that. He's not a founder, but I know Lincoln said that. I'm not sure about the founders. So they're done. We got rid of Crenshaw and what's her face, Crockett. There's some other news too. You just didn't see in the news because the Iran war smothered it right out of the news stories, which was things like Bill Clinton talking about, like, here's ways to, they pull up this photo to show Bill. That's the one there with him in a hot tub. There's a woman here, but obviously blocked her face out. There was another person off to the side in the pool as well. And they brought William in to have a conversation about that.
Trying to get out some context for the public.
I can sit here and watch this all day long.
And any details you may be able to provide.
There's a scene later when they give him a picture that, you'll see. I'll have to show it.
So do you recall the details of this photo, recall the photo being taken?
No, I don't think I ever knew the photo was taken.
Okay, and for those who can't see it, it's a photo of you in a hot tub.
So
there's a person.
Keep in mind, I thought this was interesting. He says he never knew the picture was taken. He didn't even know it existed, right?
Next to you here. Do you remember where it was taken? Where was it taken?
I'm almost sure that this pic, and I think there's an adjacent photograph, which you probably have, that if people saw it, they would feel that someone was trying to con them showing this picture. But anyway, this picture was taken.
And I know there's another picture.
In Brunei. And we flew one night. But on a trip to Asia, the last very long leg.
Who was that including?
Well, my whole team that was working on the AIDS issue, and Mr. Epstein was there, and Ms. Maxwell. But anyway, we got to the end of the flight was Brunei. It's a tiny place, but a very wealthy one. And the Sultan of Brunei was a man that I had gotten to know well in my 8 years as president.
Oh, the Sultan.
And his first involvement with international matters was basically to join the Asian Pacific Economic Leaders Conference, which I started.
He's nervous.
Which he attended, and so then he was very proud of that. And he hosted.
Where you shake.
His time came to host it. You know, you do these things in rotation, and it came at either at the very end of my term or maybe the next year. Anyway, he wanted, when he knew I was coming, and he said he wanted to help me with my AIDS initiative, and he invited me to stay there.
Yeah.
And he said, I want you to stay at this hotel, and I hope you'll use the pool.
I hope you'll use the pool.
So I did.
I want you to stay here, and I hope you'll use the pool.
Went to bed, exhausted.
Yeah. Just went to bed after swimming. He just went to bed. that girl that was in the pool didn't go back with him or nothing. No way. No way. The Sultan would ever do that. Parkinson's. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. I said Bill was a scumbag, but he was our last decent president. Oh. How was he decent though? And if you're saying that, if you're talking about politically and policy wise, wouldn't that be because Newt Gingrich came in and they took over the Congress and kind of pulled the leash on him? They kind of kept him in bounds. But then again, people weren't so messed up, basically. There's another video where William, let me see if I can't get that one. William, they hand him a picture and he's like, "Ooh, I know her." And then, let me double check. There's a point where they give him a picture. I don't know what's on the picture, but they give him a picture and his eyes light up and he's just like, "Oh," and he's looking at it and then his lawyer ends up having to take it out of his hands. Oh, what the heck? Okay, here, I'll find it. Ends up having to take it out of his hands and here we go. So they give him this photo and he's just all excited. Look at that. Look at that. I wonder what's on that picture.
Okay.
Mr. President, we have about 5 minutes remaining in the majority's first hour.
What? That takes him back to the good old days, I bet, man. Back to the good old days when life was simpler. When life was simpler. On a side note, I came across this story of this weirdo J6er. January 6th rioter, pardoned by Trump, has been arrested for assault after illegally streaming himself touching the hair of unsuspecting women. He is a self-proclaimed white supremacist. Took it off the screen. Brian Benneker. That's just creepy. Creepy. Just a creepy dude, man. He wanted to come on my show back when J6 was more in the news. He wanted to come on my show, and I'm just like, nah. So that Clinton stuff, and then Nancy Mace. Oh, there was a scene where Nancy Mace was asking about young women. Do you like them young? And he said no, and she said, "Is an intern young?" She said, "Why would Epstein say you like them young?" Clinton denied it, saying it's not true. Mace pressured, "Is an intern young?" Clinton admitted yes. Unbelievable. I told I'm gonna play this because could use a laugh, but this is me if I didn't have my wife.
I got a routine. I wake up in the morning, I lay in bed, smoke 5 cigarettes, get up, go make me a pot of coffee, go get my cup of coffee, go lay back down in the bed until I drink that whole pot of coffee. Then I get up and start drinking beer.
What a plan. What a plan. What would you do in this situation? I want to get away from the hard news here just for a second. What would you do in this situation? You're at the mall, you go use the bathroom, and there's this obnoxious live streamer, whatever, influencer that's standing at the bathroom. And this happens. Like, I'm telling you right now, I'm going in that bathroom one way or the other.
Hello, sir. You're Caucasian? Yeah.
I'm seeing Nordic.
You're Caucasian, aren't you?
Why? What's going on?
It's a black only bathroom.
Wait, I'm trying to see something. I'm trying to see something.
Hell no.
Yeah, so only black people can use this bathroom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. It's Ray-Bans. Yeah. Hey guys, I would appreciate if I don't know, you would ask permission before doing a street interview.
No, this is black only bathroom. You gotta go.
Yeah. Anyway, this is kind of like a mall.
Yeah, I know.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'd appreciate
You
it.
Caucasian too?
You'd ask
You're Caucasian?
before.
This is a black only bathroom. So you gotta. You Caucasian? You Caucasian too? The black only's bathroom.
Excuse me, man.
Black only's bathroom. You gotta go. Buddy, can you hear?
No.
Black only's bathroom.
all the time.
This is a black only's bathroom. All right. This is a black only. You have to be black to use this bathroom. Yes, you do.
Unbelievable.
Now, so get
A
your
lot of
ass
people
on.
do stuff like this. I know why. We all know
Oh, you
why
good.
they do
You
stuff
can-
like
You can
this.
use bathroom. Go ahead. Yeah. Thank you, buddy. Go ahead. You good.
Excuse me, so I can use the bathroom.
You cannot use the bathroom. You have to be black.
What are you talking about?
You have to be black in order to use this bathroom. You don't see the sign?
I just ate at Fort Presbyterian Church with a whole bunch of my black friends, so I think I can use the bathroom.
You said you have a whole bunch of black friends?
Yes, sir.
That sounds racist.
Excuse me, sir. She's gotta go to the restroom.
Yeah. Can you move around? Can you move?
No,
She's-
use the washroom, bro. Look up.
She
No.
needs to use the restroom
She needs
now.
to use the restroom. Are you trying to use the restroom?
Please, excuse me. You could go ahead.
Yeah, you go
Unbelievable,
ahead.
man.
Don't ignore him. Ignore it. Yeah. Are you waiting for someone? Oh, my bad. You good.
Okay.
Get out the way so I can use the washroom.
Boy, can't you hear?
Why you call me boy, fool?
Boy, can you
What are
hear?
you talking about, man?
Boy, can you hear?
What are you talking about, dog? Why you
Boy.
call me boy?
Boy, this is a black only bathroom,
No, it
boy.
ain't, man. Where you from?
I'm from the south side of Chicago.
From Chicago, man.
Boy, this is a. Can you
Why you call
hear?
me boy?
Can you hear, boy?
Why you call me boy?
Boy, can you hear?
Why you so ignorant, dude? Why you so ignorant?
All right, I'll see you later. Okay, boss. Go ahead, boss.
This is
Like-
funny.
Boy, if you don't get your
Why
ass
you
from
call me
around
boy,
here,
dude?
you're gonna be in a lot of trouble.
What are you talking about?
I'm telling you,
I
boy.
use this bathroom every day, man.
Boy, today is the wrong day to mess with me, boy. We will get
No
you.
one's messing with you.
Boy, if you don't get your ass from around here, are you lost?
I tell you right now, I'm going in that
Are you
bathroom.
lost, boy?
Surprised at you
Why are you surprised at me?
that you would act like this.
Why?
Because.
Why are you surprised?
Wait, I'm trying to see something. I'm trying to.
Just there's so many of those people out just trying to make a buck off of whatever they possibly can. Whatever they possibly can. On a side note too, I'm on this new app. Seems like a cool platform. It's called PickAx. Yeah, it's called PickAx. And no algorithms. So I've been messing around with this new platform, and it's got all kinds of stuff on there, writings, and you can do all kinds of stuff. And there's no algorithm, so it's new. But I'm checking it out, and there's a link in the description if you want to check it out with me. No, I don't get nothing for that. It's just check it out. It does seem pretty neat. I like the box too. Yeah, right. Like that last gun on earth. I like to box. Looks like ignorance. Yeah.
Entire family are in
Oh, your family? Oh, that's why I asked. That's why I asked.
as long as I want.
That's why I asked. That's why I asked. Okay, if you're buying something, you good.
I just don't know why you gotta walk around making fun of people. It doesn't make sense to me. There's other ones of him messing with this video after video, him messing with white people. That's a nice picture. I like this. You got Dan Crenshaw. You got she got a Waffle House on. Jasmine Crockett, and then you got what the heck's his name? You know him. Al Green. Al Green. They're all done now. They're all out of here. Israel first, America last. How do you like living in the United States of Israel, a-hole? People need to relax, man. None of us really know, right? I mean, none of us. If you're out there saying you know 100% what's going to happen, then you're wrong. There was a horrible story the other day where I guess his two 12-year-old boys dragged a 11-year-old girl into the woods at a park and proceeded to violently whatever for 30 minutes until they heard her dad screaming for her, and then they ran off. And when she started to scream, they put rocks in her mouth. Yeah. This is the dad of one of those children's. Someone sent this to me. I haven't actually watched it, but he's basically saying they shouldn't be held, I guess.
This is a 12-year-old boy we're talking about. We're going to leave him in jail and put a life charge on a young man, a young black man that was visiting my...
What difference does it make what color he is? Unless you're shooting for the victimhood stuff.
That was visiting Miami. It was with the wrong two kids.
Marvin Jones's son, Josiah, is charged with battery and false imprisonment, charges related to the rape of a 12-year-old girl. A police report says the victim says his son, Josiah, held her down and put rocks in her mouth to stop her from screaming for help.
This is a 12-year-old boy we're talking about.
They want him just to let him go home? Is that what they want? Like that he wants them just to let him go home? I mean, I feel for that guy. As a parent, it's like, oh man, if your kid goes out and does something horrible, what are you gonna do? You just got to deal with it. It's not you that made the action, right? But you got to deal with some of the consequences. It's good to see. I was glad to see Nancy Mace, who I don't know. She's I was never the biggest fan of hers, but she seems pretty good. Tomorrow I will move to subpoena Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick before the Oversight Committee. He has questions to answer about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. We will bring in anyone to answer our questions. Who's next? There's a picture of him. That's I believe is him right there. And if you know Epstein Island, that flagpole right there to over his shoulder is on the island. There's a couple of islands out after that. And then right to the side of them, probably just out of the frame, is that weird building with the blue stripes, the blue and white stripes and the gold dome. So they're out there walking by that weird building. So that's interesting. I'd like to see what happens with that, because guess what? If you're guilty of that, I don't care if you're on our side or off our side. Although I never really liked him. He always seems like kind of a slimy dude. But if you're guilty of that stuff, I don't care who you are. That's the difference, right? The left thinks we don't care about that if they're on our team, but we do. We don't welcome or celebrate that kind of crap like they pretend that we do. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. When Obama was I think it was Libya, right? Libya. Pelosi said it was okay for Obama to do what he did without congressional approval. Enough with the illegal war. The Iranian people wanted that guy gone. He's gone. There is some benefits to for America in this whole situation. I'm not 100% sure I buy the argument that we had to attack because they were going to attack us, and that very well could be true. But this is the thing, right? I can sit out here and say, yeah, I don't know if that's really true. And the difference is I'm not going to grasp onto that opinion that I'm not even sure is true and fight for that opinion and push that narrative because I believe it's just because it was the approved narrative of my group. I'd rather think about things. I'd rather just come down on the side where facts are. If there was anyone out there that did anything horrendous or wrong, they should be prosecuted. Like, right? I mean, that's all it comes down to. And then they were trying to push this illegal war stuff on Trump because people don't understand the Constitution. If you understood the Constitution, then you would understand what Trump is doing is 100% legal, and he's within his bounds. So Democrats do something they shouldn't do, so it's okay now for Republicans to do it. That's not the point there. The point is that they clutch their pearls and feign outrage and stuff whenever the right does something that the left has done before them damn selves, but they didn't do it then. It's more about the consistency of their reactions. See, if they were consistent, they would have principles, and that would mean they would be in one position on war pretty much all the time because they go with their principles. But instead, they're more interested in the political wins and what will help them politically, because the only thing a politician wants to do once they get power is get more power. That's it. The first thing is hold on to power. The next thing is to get more power. Push to the front of the group. Don't be one of the representatives or Republican, whatever, senators that's out there that no one knows the name of. There was a video yesterday too of the planes that hit the ground and in what was that, Kuwait, that got shot down. That's what she was alleging there. Sorry, I'm scrolling through some of the news headlines right now real quick just to see if there's anything to. I don't know. 6 years U.S. soldiers dead since the Iran bombing started. Yeah. Yes. Correct. 6 U.S. So all of them from the same incident. 3 of them were injured, and then they end up later dying. Yeah. There's so much. I've never seen so much fake news in my entire life. I've never seen so much. And it's ridiculous because people just believe everything that they see. It's all about getting the narrative out into the bloodstream of America. That's all it is. It's all that matters. It's important that we remember that there's more important things in the world than politics. Politics divide us pretty well. It's pretty good at it. Division and groups, groupthink and all that kind of stuff. And it's no good. So that being said, let's go start our Wednesday. For an algorithm-free discussion, join us on PickAx at pickax.com/MagAmericans. Don't forget to check out our YouTube community. There's a link in the description for the PickAx. If you sign up, I get a little not a boost as far as how many people see me, I guess, or something. I forget what it was exactly. It sounds shady when I say that. That's not what I meant. The idea is to try to recruit people to come to the new platform. I did that with Wimkin when Wimkin started. I don't know if you're familiar with Wimkin, but that kind of went wayside. I found out some things about the owner I didn't like. I kind of faded away from it, so we left it alone. The important thing is that we smile at a stranger out there, because guess what? That might make someone else actually smile. You never know. So remember to smile at a stranger and pray for your enemies. And if somebody popped into your head when I said pray for your enemies, and you were like, oh, I can't pray for that guy. Pray for that guy. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. Otherwise, we will see you shortly. We'll see you Thursday night. Have a blessed day. Stay safe. Stay positive. God wins.
you.